From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your evening update.
Daniels Roofing, licensed, bonded, insured roofing contractor. 45 years of generational expertise, offering a variety of roofing systems in the Northstate. Composition shingles, metal, tile, fire-safe wood shingles, and spray foam roofing systems. An energy-saving cool roof, perfect for commercial flat roofs and mobile homes. With other companies, you may get a foreman or a salesman, but with Daniels Roofing, you get Daniel. Call today for your free estimate. Daniels Roofing, 3 generations working hard to protect your home and business.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Meteorologist Mike Krueger, and take a look at this. We look at the rainfall totals, and where we saw the most amount of rainfall was pretty much where it was expected. North and west of the valley. Crescent City, number 1, right there, 1.76 inches of rainfall in the last 24 hours. You head to the south of that, not as much. You head to the south and east of that, not as much, but still kind of a bullseye of some wetter weather to the west of the valley in Trinity County, Hoopa, for example, and then even parts of Siskiyou County as well. Not as much for Redding, but at the airport did see about 0.07 of an inch of rainfall and much less to the east. But that being said, we are expecting rain in the areas that haven't seen rain just yet later this evening and into tonight. Take a look at the satellite and radar, and again, you can see that rain that pushed through this morning, hitting the coast pretty hard. And as expected, as that cold front moved over the coastal range, it broke apart, just as I mentioned this morning, and we're going to see less rainfall heading into the valley and even into the eastern mountains. So that's storm system number 1. And now number 2 is what's heading our way. You can see that batch of clouds kind of in the center of your screen there over the Pacific. That's what's going to be moving in here a little bit later in the day than we saw today, but it will eventually get here, especially for the coast, and then working its way eastward. So, as I mentioned, storm number 2 arrives tomorrow. Cool and unsettled through Thursday, but warmer and drier by the end of the week, with more showers by early next week. Could that be a possibility? We'll take a closer look at that in our deeper dive forecast. But first, here's a look at Krueger's Quickcast for your Monday, September 29th. And starting off with tonight. Now, we're going to be looking at mainly dry conditions. Now, I think east of the valley, there will be some showers. So Lassen, Plumas, Modoc counties will see some of that shower activity. And this evening, even places like Chico, for example, Oroville, could see some showers as well. Now, out the door tomorrow morning, it's mainly dry. Now, some of the eastern mountains, we could see maybe a little bit of shower activity. But really, for the most part, we're starting off fairly dry tomorrow morning, and then it turns more wet by the second half of the day. So again, you can clearly see the system that's passing through today, moving through tonight as well. A bit of a break between the two systems, but then the next one coming in behind that for your Tuesday. Looking at Futurecast here, there you can see 8 o'clock tonight, 10 o'clock tonight. There you can see around Corning, Chico, Oroville. Maybe even an off chance for a thunderstorm there as well, but mainly just the showers, and it looks like some heavier rainfall off in the mountains to the east. Could see some thunderstorms for places like Susanville, Plumas County, and maybe even working its way into Modoc County as well. That will then pretty much die down. So as I was mentioning, mainly dry for your Tuesday morning, but there could be a stray sprinkle or light shower, as you can see here, to the north and east of the valley. But the next storm system, there it is, off to our west. It hits the coast probably sometime late morning, early afternoon, when we get another round of some decent rainfall. But as expected, what's going to happen? It's going to weaken as it moves eastward. It hits the coastal range and it breaks apart. So we're looking at more in the way of those scattered showers throughout the day on Tuesday afternoon into Tuesday evening. And then you can see as we go into Tuesday night, we're still seeing a few scattered showers out there, but you can see it's going to be few and far between and not very widespread. So how much rain can we expect on top of what we've already seen? Well, you can see upwards of about 1/4 to maybe around 1/2 inch for places around the north coast and even out towards Hoopa, for example. And in the valley, about maybe close to 1/4 to 1/2 inch in some spots, especially the north. And out towards Chico and Willows, probably not as much. And then off to the east, not as much either. So for tomorrow, we're expecting those showers in the valley. Could see some more showers in the higher elevations. Now, off to the east, places like Lassen County, Plumas County, I think you're going to be hard-pressed to see any rainfall at all throughout the day tomorrow. Modoc County having a harder time, but still a slight chance there as well. So mainly for the valley, north into Siskiyou County, and west of that as well. Now, we look at that 7-day outlook. We got the continued chance for showers through Wednesday before we finally dry things out by Thursday and warming back up a little bit, but still below normal for this time of the year as we go through the weekend. Taking a look at your 7-day outlook for the coast. Showers possibly through Thursday maybe, and that could continue for the inland areas and maybe even places like Weaverville as well. For Siskiyou County, also possibly through Thursday. Alturas, off and on chances here through Thursday, as well as Susanville in the eastern mountains. But drying out as we go into the weekend. Now, look at Monday. I've included Susanville and the eastern mountains in general, especially Lass and Plumas counties, a chance for showers. Some of the models want to get a little bit more aggressive and even bring some rain for the valley, but I'm not going to set that in stone just yet. But it is something I'm watching very closely. All right, so let's take a look at your fire weather forecast. This is sponsored by Garmin's Tractor Service, and we're going to be looking at the winds. Now, the winds, we're not concerned about the fires with winds, right? Because we're looking at rain associated with all this. The main concern with these wind gusts is the potential for broken tree branches, power outages, the works. High-profile vehicles on I-5 in central Siskiyou County could be a bit of a concern, and some gusty winds along the coast, and even some gusty winds for parts of the valley as well. Tuesday afternoon, still pretty gusty out there, but looks like by Wednesday, the winds are showing signs of starting to die down, especially in the morning, but maybe a little breezy in some spots here for Wednesday afternoon. Fire weather risk, well, I don't even really need to show you this because bottom line, humidity levels are going to be very high for this time of the year, and not to mention the fact that that's just going to really give us low fire danger as a result. So that's great news. It looks like we could be inching closer to the end of the fire season before you know it, but we've still got to get a couple more weeks. Let's get through October, actually, before we can really set that in stone. All right, let's go into our deeper dive forecast. And this is when we really dive into the forecast here and give you some of the details that, well, I'm kind of known for and what Weather NorCal can give you that no other place can give you. So let's get you right into it. So let's start off with the big picture, the satellite image here. So just kind of really walk you through the story of today, because this is exactly as it pretty much as it panned out, as I explained earlier this morning, that we were going to see that cold front hit the coast, heavier rainfall there. We even did see a flood advisory near the Eureka area earlier this morning. It did expire at midday. Then, as it moved over the coastal range, we started to see that cold front break apart, but still some heavy rainfall for parts of Trinity County, Siskiyou County, and even some rain making its way to the north end of the valley as well. And you can still see some of the leftover activity, but you'll notice when it first hit the coast how strong it was. Right now it's not nearly as strong. We're just seeing some of those stray showers out there. So as we zoom it out here, this is what's going to be moving out, and this is what's going to be moving in tomorrow, giving us another round of some rain. So let's take a look at Futurecast over the next couple of days. Here you can see 8 o'clock tonight. We're seeing the bulk of the activity to the north and east of the valley, but we could see some development later this evening into tonight around Glenn and Butte County, say around Corning, Chico, Willows, Orville, maybe a stray shower there, and an off chance for a few rumbles of thunder as well. Heavier rainfall, thunderstorms off to the north and east, and really that could continue around midnight out towards Laston and Plumas counties. But to the west of that, you see how it's drier. And so eventually, once this all moves out, there may be a stray sprinkle or light shower east of the valley through the morning hours on Tuesday. But for the most part, we're drying things out. The next round of rain is right here. Now, much like yesterday, it starts off strong on the coast. You've got the heavier rainfall there, but then you see how it hits the coastal range, it breaks apart. So not as organized, but still some showers for the valley, for the mountains, but most likely not really seeing any thunderstorms tomorrow. I mean, if you see a few rumbles of thunder here and there, sure, not out of the question. But by 10 o'clock on Tuesday, you can just see some scattered showers, maybe even the valley seeing a little bit of that activity as well. Then we go into Wednesday morning, there's the showers, and looks like we still have the potential to see some rain Wednesday morning, especially say Red Bluff southward and onto Corning and Chico. Nothing terribly heavy, but then that starts to break up, and then we're looking at scattered showers through the day on Wednesday. Now you can see here, not very organized, not very widespread, but everyone still has that chance for a stray sprinkle or a light shower through the day on Wednesday. So the amount of rain we can expect here on top of what we've already seen, you saw some of those numbers a little bit earlier. We'll tack on what we expect on Wednesday, and you can see here, once again, most of the rain looks to be north and west of the valley where the bulk of that rain will be. Less rain into the valley and less rain heading off to the east as well, although maybe some of that redevelopment, say along the foothills east of the valley. But we have low pressure right here. That's what's going to continue to push to the east. So Thursday, still a chance for a stray shower here and there. I think most of it will be in the higher elevations, but really won't amount to much. Then we dry things out. for Friday through the weekend. And as you know, we got the Manhattan Apple Festival going on Saturday. It looks like it should be dry for that event. And then we go into early next week. Now, this particular forecast model is still being very aggressive with this area of low pressure moving to the south and bringing everybody, for the most part, in Northern California, a chance for rain. However, the European forecast model doesn't have this solution at all. It has that energy all moving east and staying well out of the area, which would mean no rain for any of us. So I'm kind of splitting the difference and calling for maybe a chance for showers in the northern Sierra, maybe around, say, Plumas or Lassen counties on Monday. But for now, I'm keeping everyone else dry on Monday. But just be aware that's something I'll be watching here as we do go into early next week. Otherwise, the Climate Prediction Center has us mainly in the drier than normal category. And look at this. Even though we're going to be warming up a bit here after the next few days here, we will most likely stay below normal. So fall is here. Fall is definitely here. We're going to feel it with those temperatures here, not only for this week, but even into next week as well. That pocket of cooler air pushes on through toward the end of the week. Once that moves on out of here, we see a weak rid of high pressure try to build in, but then there again is that pocket of cooler air coming in for early next week. But I guess, as I mentioned, the European forecast model doesn't have this breaking off and keeps all that energy off toward north and east, which would mean still warmer temperatures for us, most likely still below normal, and that would keep us dry as well. However, this one's still fairly aggressive and has been that way for the last 24 hours or so. The 10-day trend, nice little dip in our temperatures Wednesday, but even though we're seeing a spike in our temperatures as we go into the weekend and early next week, we're going to keep it below normal for this time of the year, generally in the low to even some mid-80s in there. So really, all in all, not that bad. Temperature is pretty seasonal for this time of the year. Now, the wave heights are going to be increasing. In fact, there's a gale warning for tomorrow due to the high waves that we will see here for tomorrow and most likely even into your Wednesday as well. All right, so here is your neighborhood forecast, sponsored in part by Dignity Health. For Trinity County, we got temperatures mid to upper 60s. So what we've got here, more showers tomorrow, possibly Wednesday. We may see a lingering shower on Tuesday, but for the most part, we're starting to dry things out on Thursday across the board here. We take you up to the north with 70 in Orleans, 73 for Hoopa. Heaviest rainfall will be on the coast and the inland areas, and then as that rain pushes eastward, it's going to start to break apart, turning into showers for the rest of us. There's a look at your Dignity Health Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast. Temperatures in the 50s and 60s for your daytime highs. Chances for showers most likely through Thursday, but as I mentioned, Thursday we're really starting to wrap things up really for all of Northern California, and then we dry things out entirely by Friday, warm it up a little bit for the weekend, and then another slight dip in our temperatures as we go into early next week. Your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast, temperatures in the low to mid 60s, 65 in Susanville, 63 for Janesville, and Mineral, about 54 degrees, and your Dignity Health Valley neighborhood forecast to the south, 73 in Corning, 73 for Hamilton City, and Willows, about 74 degrees. All right, let's take a look at your 7-day forecast for Chico. And yeah, you're talking temperatures back down into the 70s, or back down to the 60s, that is, for Wednesday, and then increasing again as we go into the weekend. All right, let's take you up to the north. 72 degrees for Redding, 71 for Bella Vista, and 74 degrees in Red Bluff. And there's a look at your 7-day forecast for Redding. We've got those temperatures in the mid-60s by Wednesday, and then 80s by Friday through the weekend and into early next week. That's your evening update. I'll be back again tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. and live on Coffee with Krueger at 6:30. Have a great night.